Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our Getting Started video series for SEM Forex. My name is Michael Class, and I will be leading you through the process. And as we continue to move on through getting familiar with the MT4 platform, we want to make sure you understand that any trading, stock, forex, futures, options, and now cryptocurrency, does have a risk of loss. You can lose money. So any strategies, everything we do here is for educational purposes. Again, we want to help you get going with your forex trading, but you are trading at your own risk. So as we continue on in our series, today we're going to talk about charts. We've got you installed, we've got you up and running, have you set up, but now you're actually ready to start placing some trades. You're actually, more importantly, finding some trades. So we're going to show you how to set up some charts so that you can feel comfortable as you look to find your trades on the SEM Forex platform. So let's go ahead and pull up MT4. So here we are. We have our MT4 platform for SEM up here and loaded. A couple things you might remember as we're talking about charting. You might remember before, again, I have some general charts up here. So if you maximize a chart to get a closer look at what's going on here, remember this little tile icon here. So if I click on that, it brings back the chart. So just want to bring that back to your recollection so that you remember how you can have multiple charts up at one time, and then as you zoom in to get a better look at one of them, if you click on this tile, that takes you back to your series of tabs. So that's one thing to recall. And another thing to recall is if you go over here, profiles, and you remember how we showed you how to, and the purpose of having profiles is so that you can, as you come back into your platform each day, you can quickly load up the look and feel, specifically how you want to analyze the market each time. If sometimes you'll come in and you'll move things around, or you want to look at a different pair, and when you start over again, you want to be able to easily get your charts back to where you want it to be, a default look. And so I want to remind you about the profiles. You can go back to the video and go for that, but obviously you can see save as, and you can load. It's really easy to do. So with that being said, I am going to maximize right here. And in addition to profiles, you also can have a template. So if I right click here and go over here to template, you can see save template, load template. If you get one from a friend, or you want to get it off of your chart, this is another quick way, because again, if I'm looking at the market, sometimes I want to look at it one way, and then I want to look at it with a different indicator, maybe a different type of chart in terms of candle, and that's a good place to start. So again, just like you can have a default profile, you can have default templates for your charts, and we'll save one in a second, but I wanted to point it out to you. And again, the reason being is simplicity. You want to look, sometimes you look at the market, you look at a chart, and you add things, you take away things to get back to where you feel is your home default look. You save a template, you save a profile. So one thing you might say is, well, how do I do that? So if you right click and you go to properties, we can make some more changes to the look and feel of the chart. Now you'll notice I have a black background right now. Obviously, if I change that to white and say okay, it's there. Now what did you notice? Some things disappeared. So if I go back to properties and you see where it says foreground, I can't have one white on white. So if I change that to black, now our labels have come back in. This is all, again, a preference thing. What do you like? I don't mind the black. I don't mind the white. I really don't matter really which one. Really, it's the room that I'm in that really determines what type of background that I like. But in addition to that, you can see right here, grid. Some people don't like the grid at all. Let's go ahead and change that. And now you can see all those gray lines are gone. Some people see this as nice and clean. And again, it's a mood thing for me. Sometimes I like the grid, sometimes I don't. In addition, if I go back to properties, you have your bars. I'm old school. I like the candle bar when it's bullish. I like for it to be green. I'm old school. I like a bearish candle when it's going down. I like for it to be red. And look at the changes. So now we can actually see the green and we can see the red. Now we can see with the red, what I probably should do here, see this bar down here. If I change that to red also, now we have a much cleaner look. So you can go in here and make this however you so desire. And you can also come over here to the comment side and again determine how you want their show grid. I changed the color to none, but if you don't even want the grid there too, you can get rid of it here. The ask line, you can determine what you want the default properties, the default look of each of your charts to look like. And again, once you have it to where you like, you're going to want to save a template. In addition, as we come up here, you can see we have 3 different little icons here. So we have bar charts. Notice the change. They're basically, the body of the candles are gone. Then of course we have our regular candles. Now the candles are back. And then we have old school line charts. None of the open, high, low, close thing there at all. Again, that's a preface thing. You're going to, as you get more into trading Forex, you're going to hear people talk about hike and seek candles. You're going to hear people talk about range bars, market profile, all tick charts. There's all, since I'm going to talk about, since I said tick chart, in addition to setting up your charts, you can see time frame is very important. So chart type, bar, candle, line. This is the default types. And then time frame. Do you want a minute? M. So these M's, since there's an M in front of them, it's telling you a minute. So 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. Notice how it all changes. 30 minute. H. Now we're talking about hourly. 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart. D. Now we're talking about daily. W. We're talking about weekly. M. We're talking about monthly. And what's important, and really want to get into this, but I will say briefly. Notice, we're talking about trends. Okay, it's in a downtrend monthly because we're starting up here and we're down here now. Simple. However, if I come back over here to say the 30 minute, you could argue that we're in an uptrend. Multi-time frame agreement, something we'll talk about in a later video. What's more importantly is that you understand that this is how you can change the time frame of your chart. So we can change the chart type, we can change the chart time frame, and we can change the properties. What's next is this little line right here, indicators, and that's going to be our next video. We're going to get in more details about that, but as a little opener, we can see that there's all these indicators here. So we're going to talk about indicators in the next video. And again, I'll remind you, as I just said, there are more chart types than what are up here. You really just have to do what you're comfortable with. Do the research, do the time, and it really comes down to what are you able to process? What do your eyes see? What do you feel that you're able to see it and process it? What looks good? Because what looks good to me may not look good to you. So as I said, our next video is going to be about indicators. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.